this is a tough one to talk about a bit. My awakening I started out in an esoteric Christian order. And when I went down for the prayers, which we do every night, very heavy incense was going, frankincense and myrrh, etc. And Father Blyton laid hands on my head and we did our prayers, and all of a sudden this gold bolt of lightning went through my body and nailed me to the floor. I was like, literally nailed to the floor. And I can tell you it was like this wide, straight through my body. And all of a sudden I'm seeing auras. The cross on the wall had a gold aura. The one on the one up in the front had a purple aura around it. And he knew what happened right away. He said, well, you've gone through the first expression of enlightenment. Well, it wasn't enlightenment, it was the activation. Okay? So I disagree with saying that it's enlightenment, because it's just the beginning activation of things. And for a number of days after that, I was like in la la land, because it threw me into a samadhi state, which I had no idea what they were. All of a sudden you're connected to everything. And if I would have got hit by a car, I could have cared less, because I was just, at that point not grounded, but just in this real big expansion and things that had taken place. Well, I left there, but also he was apparently very connected with some alien beings, and they had witnessed where he would go by a TV, it would blow out and stuff. I mean, his energy apparently was off the charts. Now, I have had a lot of things that took place when it comes to energy, where streetlights would go out, blow out. Then I had ones, went to this New Age thing, and they were talking about Reiki, and I said, well, yeah, I do energy work. And, well, were you taught by a Reiki master? No. Well, then you can't be doing it. And they wanted to work on me. Okay, go ahead. They touched me and went, never mind. It was like grabbing a live wire. They backed off real quick. So, I mean, these things came in just downloads. You just knew what to do. It's automatically formed. And a lot of that type of things happened. There was ability to change weather that actually was happening. And, just all these different things that come up to show you're something much more than the physical body. One second you're in the body, the next second you're out. Your consciousness is above the trees until you realize what you're seeing and you slam back in the body again. So, I mean, you have all these things that are taking place. Now, the head of the order passed pretty early, and the whole thing got divided. Some of them went to Gnosticism, and then other ones had gone into Greek Orthodox. Okay. And there is still, I guess, a subset of the order that's still going to some degree. Now, I had moved and was living in Hawaii and met this older gentleman, and he was a walk-in. And he told me how he became a walk-in. he was in this airplane. It had caught fire, it was going down, and there weren't enough parachutes for everybody on board. So he had the choice of jumping or dying in the fire. Well, he jumped. And he said halfway down, this entity had said, you know, give me use of your physical form and I can save you. Well, he agreed to that, and he became a walk-in. Okay? So, he would be, this, I guess, alien craft would pick him up in the evenings, and he would be the other side of the island. Now, he had no way to get to the other side of the island because he had no car. There were no transports running at that hour of the evening or whatever. But he had introduced me to these people that were working with the supposed Ashtar Command. But this was not Ashtar Command, okay? So they had come to me and said, well, he did not fulfill everything with the order, and so you've been selected to head up the order. Well, this could be big ego stuff for some people. But, you know, I was just like, yeah, no, there was something off. And then they were trying to say, oh, Jesus was a hologram. And I saw them going into this closet and disappearing, literally disappearing. Okay, so I saw a lot of very odd things with these people. And when I pushed back on what they were trying to implement, get me to, you know, run with, they got a call from England in the middle of the night, get her out of there, get her out of there, get her out of there now. And they told me directly, your kind had killed many of our kind. Okay. So, you know, I have had some interactions with some of these beings, but the ones that were saying they were Ashtar Command, it was not, I can tell you it was not Ashtar Command. Okay? Because they were trying to get me to head up the order and skew the teachings. Well, I'm not going to skew any of that. That's not going to happen. Okay? And like I said, they got a call to get me out of there now. That my kind had killed many of their kind. Yeah. There were some other things that I had seen. And then this guy that was a walk-in tried to get me to take drugs and stuff, which I wouldn't do. And he had this big crystal that was, I forget what you call it, Elestrian or something. I forget what you called it, but it was big crystal. It would have been very expensive, and I took it and I smashed it. Oh, he would have liked to have just done me in, but he couldn't touch me. Okay? So that was my experience. You know, I've had a few experiences where they could have just, I mean, literally would have killed me if they could. Yeah. And, but they couldn't touch me. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so there are some that are good, and then there are some that are, you know, not good, and you have to be aware of what's out there. Okay. So that's my experience. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. But yeah, there are many here that are star seeds, many of us here, light workers that are here from many different planetary realms and stuff, and come to bring in what we can and hold that light, hold the light, continue to hold the light. But yeah, a lot of this has been going on behind the scenes for quite some time. Anyway. Somebody was talking on the channel, they had seen that, I think her name's Deborah Solarius. I know her last name, I think, is Solarius. She's very good and talks about different planetary beings, etc. But yeah, like I said, some of the things I saw, though, one of the things that I saw there, one of the guys there was eating rotten meat. I mean, literally rotten meat. And I was like, yeah, no, this is not one of the higher beings. This is not, Ashtar. This is not, and they're trying to pervert some teachings. They're trying to skew again, and that's the way the dark works. It takes some things of truth and then starts spinning it into shadows and into this dark drama. So you have to be aware of how these things work, okay? How they work and what to know and what to look for. But again, I don't advocate for everybody awakening Kundalini, because once it's actually activated, Kundalini yoga is a misnomer. You're not really getting anything to do with Kundalini, okay? It's not. Because once it genuinely activates, it doesn't close down. It's 24/7, okay? 24/7, and it's going to bring up all your fears. It's going to bring up all your, everything that you think you know to be challenged, okay? So it's a very long process. It could take lifetimes to complete. In the end, it's worth it because it's about that journey to discover what is actually there. The divine is the 0 point balance. It's about that journey. But it is a very long journey, and you have to face absolute terror. Yeah. And everything you think you know is going to be challenged. And so it's very rigorous, and it takes a lot of surrender, which is not easy to do when you're going through very extreme experiences. Okay. So people, you see some of them talking about they want all these cities or these powers. Well, you get these powers, they come up in the journey, but that's not what it's about. They're distractions. They can be stumbling blocks. Okay? They come up, but that's not what you grasp and hold to. because there are distractions. They're there to show you that there is something more unlimited. Okay? So you're much more than you ever thought and much less in the same breath. Okay? It's well worth the journey at the end, I can tell you that. But the journey itself, very challenging. So on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online.